Wow, I picked a really good time to shit on Evangelion because after episode 14, I have absolutely no faith anymore that this is going to get better. I don't care about any of these characters, I don't care about what's going on, and I don't care about the overarching plot of Evangelion. Episode 14 killed it for me. And I really want to stress this is that, like, this might be one of the worst episodes of anything I've ever seen in my life. Because, for one thing, I really fucking hate clip shows. They are the worst. And this episode is especially bad because, like, the first half of it is just like going over. All they do is just show clips of stuff that had already happened. Like, all they do is just show old animation, like, over again. And just like there's some new narration, and it's just like, wow, I did not care about any of this the first time. It wasn't that long ago, and you're already showing it to me again. It's just like, wow. Nothing I saw there had any weight to it. None of it like meant anything. None of it like amounted to anything. Like that entire clip show, and it was nothing more than a clip show. It was a mess, and that was the entire first 10 minutes or so of that. Probably a little bit more. It was just this nonstop barrage of clips from old episodes. And I was just sitting here thinking that, like, whoa, this is going, how long is this going to go on? Like, I honestly thought, like, it was going to end, like, 2 minutes in, like that was just going to be, like, a brief recap, and then it would, like, get back to the plot, get back to, like, expanding on what's going on. No, that didn't fucking happen, not until, like, 15 minutes in or something ridiculous like that. And then this clip show is really weird because it ends with this sequence with original animation, well, somewhat original animation, really lazy original animation, where like all the characters are like doing this test with the Evas and how Shinji is in Unit Zero and how it's like rejecting him and how how it attacks the scientists and like there's some exposition. I don't care about any of this. Like none of it means anything. They don't offer any like okay, here's the thing about this setup. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it's trying to go for this, like, ooh, what's going on? Like, there's a huge mystery around the Evas and, like, why they're berserking and stuff like that and how they're piloted and stuff and things. And just, like, the issue here is they don't really establish much of anything about the Evas. They just sort of exist. They just sort of behave the way they do. They just sort of have to do these weird tests that aren't like explained or really, make any sense at all. They're just like, why do you need Shinji to pilot Ray's Eva? Like, what's the logic behind it? Like, what's the reasoning behind it? Like, they don't fucking tell you, and in fact, they still don't really explain to you why there are only certain people in the world who can like pilot Evas. They still fucking don't do it. Like, it's just so fucking stupid, and. I think that just sums up Evangelion as a whole, is that like it's not deep or complicated or complex or insightful about society. No, it's just fucking stupid. Like the more I watch this show, the more I'm reminded of like Xenoblade and like that game's fan base and like stuff like that, where people are convinced this thing has this like insane level of quality and depth that you don't typically see from other games like it. But in reality, it's like not only is it shallow, it's not even that interesting or memorable. There are just so many other things like it that are better. Like, I fucking hate Skyrim. I do. I've gone on record about this, but at the end of the day, it's still way better than the Xenoblade games in general. Like, again, I'm saying in general. Like, of course, Xenoblade Chronicles X has like a bigger, better open world and stuff like that. The X in particular kind of sticks out from the crowd, but is Xenoblade? Yeah, I would say Xenoblade Chronicles X is better than Skyrim. The other two, the ones that like people actually praise as being like deep, Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, those are shit. Skyrim is better than those, but X I'd say X is better than Skyrim. But my point is that Evangelion, it just feels like it's all downhill from here. I cannot imagine it's gonna like, and that's the thing though, is that no one I've ever seen bring up the problems with, discuss the problems with Evangelion, or just like what the issue with it is, like story wise, narrative wise, like structure wise. Like, I don't think I've ever heard anyone address this clip show and like address this episode in general, because there's just I've never. Most people who bitch about Evangelion like try to write off that the show is being bad because of Shinji being whiny and the ending. Like, I am not. I still have not gotten to the ending. I am really apprehensive about that. Like, there's just so much. Like, I've been spoiled at this point. Like the movie in particular. Like apparently Shinji. Okay. I've been spoiled about some of the more controversial things when it comes to like the Evangelion movies, including like the scene where Shinji masturbates over Asuka's comatose body. I'm just like, wow, holy fucking shit, that is so terrible. Like, even saying that out loud is just like, I can't believe that happened. I haven't even seen it yet, but like, I know it happens in one of the movies. And it's just like, fucking really, just like, I'm just like, I am so outraged by that. Like, it's so terrible. I just have to see it, you know? Like, that's probably the only reason I'm going to watch these movies, is to see Shinji do something that fucking terrible. It's just like, wow, these are your deep and complex characters, guys. Way to go. I don't know. Like, I've been thinking a little bit about like the things I like about Evangelion, like the things I think work in Evangelion. Like, nothing really. Like, I like some of the voice actors; they're fine. Like, Asuka's great, Gendo is great, Shinji's fine, Rei is fine. Like, again, but I just don't really care about like, you know, them as characters. I don't really care about Asuka or her like weird, oh, why are they pandering to Shinji, like pampering Shinji? Just like, it's just bitching for the sake of bitching, you know? And I just like again, and Asuka is my favorite character. I've said this in the past that I do like her. And like, that's the thing I feel about like Evangelion. Like, when I think about the things I like about it, is that like, it feels like this could have been good, but they just dropped the ball so hard in so many ways. Like, take the animation. Like, there are so many times in this show, not just like at this clip show, but like early on, where like characters just stand in one place doing nothing, and then like something minor changes it. At one point there's this scene where like Misato thinks Shinji has run away, and like she rushes to the train station, and then she's like stands there for like a minute before she realizes that like Shinji is still standing right behind her because he didn't get on the fucking train. Because it's just like, there are so many moments like that where like Shinji sits up in bed, and then like he just sits there like in place, and then like this radio just starts spouting off nonsense that's not important. It's just like, the entire show is like that. Like, it's not deep, it's not profound, it's not emotional, it's just lazy. And like, if you're like me and you can see through that, like you'll spot it really easily. Like, I don't really know what the deal behind this decision was. Like, I've heard rumors that Evangelion had a very low budget or something like that. I don't believe it. Okay. I don't think that's the problem, is what I'm saying. I just feel like there are so many times when the animation could and should be better, you know? Like, this... I'm like a sucker. I don't watch anime to see like still images, okay? Like, anime is animated. Like, you have to fucking see these characters move and like do stuff and like be involved. Like, if I wanted to see still images, I would just read a manga, you know? I just feel like, man, I do not think Neon Genesis Evangelion gets enough of a bad rap for the shit it pulls on like a regular basis. There's just now that I'm like more familiar with it, like I don't know, like I'm having a hard time thinking of anything in this show that I really think I'm going to is really I really think is going to stick with me. You know, like again, the voice actors are fine. I praised Asuka like earlier in this video, but the other voice actor that I think sticks out, and this is the thing I realized when I was like doing a little bit of research earlier. Gendo Ikari, although he doesn't really interact with Shinji at all, like so far at least, and like all he does is just sit around acting sinister. Like, you know what? I like his voice actor. I like his like poise. I like his Gendo pose. I like his sunglasses and how they like glint. I like that. Like he, if this was a more fleshed out like plot, like if he actually like did something to like really set himself apart from other anime antagonists like him, I would like him as a villain. But apparently, it doesn't fucking. I don't really. As it stands now on episode 14, I don't think so. Like, he hasn't really done anything. Not really. He just, like, all he's doing is just, like, sitting around manipulating people and just being an asshole. And just, like, yeah, that's fine. But it's not enough. It really isn't. Like, again, I'm praising the voice actors for an English dub of a Japanese show. Like, I just like, man, I as of episode 14, I'm just like everything I was intrigued by Evangelion, like by its reputation, like the reputation it has, like all of the legacy it has, like all of that by this point has been like demolished. I don't give a fuck. I don't like these characters. I don't like this story. I don't like this animation. I don't like this anime.